Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to the special edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It is that time of the week again to count down the 10 hottest cards of the week. And as you can imagine, Innistrad Midnight Hunt is the main reason cards are shifting in price this week. However, there's some other things going on which we'll talk about during the video. Quickly though, before we get started, just a fast reminder, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use that Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pre-order Innistrad Midnight Hunt products there. They also have a number of other things on their website. And remember, if your order is over $100 or it consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, whenever you use that promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated, so thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 10 is Curse of Misfortunes. This goes up $228 this week to $299. That is a 319% increase. And this is a good time to let you know how we compile our top 10 every week. We look at two major pieces of criteria. The first is a percentage increase in the value of the cards. And secondly, we want to see a true increase in sales occurring as well. So if you're expecting a card to be here and it does not show up, it did fall short in one or both of those categories this week. With that out of the way, let's talk more about this card here, Curse of Misfortunes. Now, currently, this gets a little legacy play in a Curse deck. It also sees some Commander play in Gun Arcanum Weaver and more there. However, remember that Innistrad Midnight Hunt is bringing back curses. Here's some examples quickly on the screen. The first four cards are from the main set, including that Transform card there. The last card, Curse of Obsession, can only be found in set boosters or collector boosters. These next four curses are in the Commander Precons. The first and last one are in Coven Counters, and the two in the middle are in Undead Unleashed. But there is another card that is pushing curses more than anything I've already shown you, and that is Lind, Cheerful Tormentor. This is another one you can only find in set boosters or collector boosters. I love that art where she's cursing the unluckiest Planeswalker. We discussed this card in Saturday's video, so I won't go into too many details, but I do think there will be many Commander players more than happy to build a Grixis Curse deck around this. And cards like Curse of Misfortunes and another card we're going to see later in the video are moving up because of that. As a matter of fact, Curse of Misfortunes was mentioned in a Command Zone podcast video this week as a card you may want to put in a build around Lind. Number 9 is Relentless Dead. It goes up $241 to $1921. That is a 14% increase. Solid card in various Commander zombie builds currently, but again, Innistrad Midnight Hunt has pushed this one. The set has a ton of zombie support. Let's look at some examples on the screen. All of these cards are in the main set, some of them quite powerful. Look at Champion of the Perished. There's a chance Relentless Dead might not just see increased Commander play going forward, but it might see some play in Pioneer, maybe even Modern if a zombie deck can get there in those formats. But the main reason the card is moving again this week after it did jump a little bit a few weeks back is due to the fact that we finally saw the Undead Unleashed Commander Precon deck list. That confirmed that Relentless Dead is not being reprinted there. So what is going to be in that deck? Well, we already saw Will Health the Rock Cleaver, but we also got to see some new zombie support. Here's some examples quickly on the screen. Sure, Relentless Dead will definitely be a good upgrade to this deck. Number 8 is Glimpse of Nature. This goes up $272 this week to $27.82. That is an 11% increase. Now, this is banned in Modern, but it does show up in Legacy Elves. It is a solid Commander card too in Elf builds and more there. It's even received some additional play recently in that format in Volo Guide to Monsters decks. However, again, Innistrad Midnight Hunt is the catalyst for this moving as much as it is this week. I do think players will be looking to pick this up for future Werewolf or even human builds. As a matter of fact, we also saw the Coven Counters deck list this week, and I do think this would be a good upgrade there. Additionally, though, here's some cards that could push this in general that are coming from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. I mentioned Werewolf support. There's also a good amount of support for Wolves, of course. Here's one example. Primal Adversary. This is in the main set. Here's 5 other Werewolves you'll find in the main set. Of course, on the top row, you see the front side of the cards. On the bottom row, you see the back side. And there's key Mythic Werewolf support like Arlen the Pack's Hope, or maybe my favorite of all these cards, Tovolar Dire Overlord. This one is a rare, but it is a Gruul legendary creature human werewolf, so this could be a werewolf commander if you chose to make it one. We'll be talking more about that card later, but let's look at some of the human support that's out there too. These first 3 cards are in the main set. Sigarda, Champion of Light, is especially interesting to me. The last card, Visions of Glory, can only be found in set boosters or collector boosters again. Next, we have the front-facing commander of Coven Counters, Lenore Autumn Sovereign. And here are two more recent reveals from Coven Counters that we just saw this week. Kyler Sigardian Emissary, and Huron Blade Elite. Number 7 is Spellbinder. This goes up 336 this week to 549. That is a 158% increase. This traditionally has seen a little commander play, but as you can see, it's spiking pretty aggressively. So what's happening here? Well, for you to understand why this card's moving, we have to talk about another card, and that card is Savage Beating. We're going to see it in a few minutes on the countdown as well, but let me give you a little background on that card first. That card was already starting to see a little more commander play because some players were using it as an upgrade to Draconic Rage or putting it in fresh builds around Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. But the real reason that Savage Beating started taking off recently was because of Innistrad Midnight Hunt previews, and in particular, it was in a video by Tolarian Community College discussing a Tovolar commander build, and guess what other card was in that video? Yup, you got it, Spellbinder, because it combos with Savage Beating. That video alone did bring a lot of attention to the card and to the combo, I have no doubt. I do think you're going to see both of those cards in future werewolf builds in Commander, of course, but also maybe in some future vampire builds. Innistrad Midnight Hunt also did give us a little bit of vampire support. Here's just one example, Falconwrath Pitfighter. This is in the regular set. However, we know the main event for vampires is coming in Crimson Vow. Plus, when that set comes out, it is coming with two precons. One is Spirit Squadron. The other one, though, is called Vampiric Bloodline. Number 6 is Catalyst Stone. This is up 503 this week to 1155. That is a 77% increase. Now, this is a card that currently only gets a tad bit of commander play. However, it is jumping because of the flashback support that is in Innistrad Midnight Hunt. First off, let's look at some examples of just the pure flashback cards you might find at Rare. In the main set, you have cards like these three that you see on the screen. These are some monocolor examples. You also have all of these multicolor examples in the main set. We saw the white part of the cycle earlier, but here's 4 more flashback cards that finish out that cycle. These are all found only in set boosters or collector boosters. But I think the card preview that's had the biggest impact on Catalyst Stone is this one right here, Lear, Disciple of the Drowned. It is a legendary creature that gives each instant and sorcery in your graveyard flashback equal to the mana cost of that spell, and it shuts down all counterspells, although that does include yours as well. I do think this could make for some interesting interactions with Catalyst Stone, or maybe even show up in Legacy or Vintage with that card in some kind of new Storm build, who knows. I will say this though, the limited supply of Catalyst Stone, considering it's an older card that's yet to be reprinted, is the reason it is spiking as fast as it is. Number 5 is Soldevi Excavations. This goes up 621 this week to 3881. That is a 19% increase. And this can see a little commander play, but it has been the target of a rather public buyout due to its status on the reserve list, and that's why it has been going up in price recently. Number 4 is Edgar Markov from Commander 2017, only found in foil. It goes up 1241 this week to 7698. That is a 19% increase as well. This is finally getting a reprint as a Judge foil, so there's not going to be a lot of additional copies coming to the marketplace. I do feel like this is overdue for a broader reprint. Maybe we will see something at some point in the not too distant future. But for now, this card's going up in value for a lot of the reasons we already discussed. It is a very popular vampire tribal commander, and there is speculation that Edgar is going to be the character marrying Olivia in Crimson Vow. Number 3 is Curse of Vengeance, up 1302 to 1810. That is a 256% increase. Now, we already discussed why curses are going up in value, but this one is particularly interesting for a couple of reasons. First off, it was in Commander 2016. It was only in one commander deck there, so it is harder to find this one in good condition compared to curses that were in standard sets or maybe appeared in a couple precons. And the other reason this one's interesting to me is because it could be pretty cool with Lind. If this at some point ends up attached to you, you may be able to build some ways into your deck where you can play a lot of spells quickly, whether that's cheap spells or maybe you create some kind of loop. And then when you do pass this on to another player, that could be a huge advantage for you and perhaps offset some of the downside of having various curses attached to you at different points in the game. Number 2 is a card we already discussed today, so I don't have a whole lot to add. This is Savage Beating. It is up 1816 to 3496, and that is a 108% increase. And finally, at number 1, we have World Fire. This is up 2407 to 2555. If you're doing the math at home, that is a 1,622% increase. So what exactly happened to this card? I'll tell you what happened. It got unbanned in Commander, and there you go. So the Rules Committee officially announced this week that this is unbanned in the format. Some Commander players started to scramble to pick this up. A lot of speculators, though, also scrambled to pick this up. And remember, this card is yet to be reprinted. It was not a popular Magic card before that unbanning, but there's not a ton of copies out there necessarily in good condition online. When it comes to gameplay, is this going to be in like every Commander deck that's running red? Probably not, but I do think it will show up in some decks here or there. And there are going to be Commander players that are going to try some different combos and see if they can get this to be more effective. I have seen a lot of content creators, including the Command Zone podcast, talking about different things you could do with this card over the course of the week. Those type of videos and articles are going to bring more attention to it. Ultimately, though, I do think there is some fear of missing out fueling this price spike as well. That does it for our top 10 hot cards of the week, but remember to join us this weekend for the regular episode of the Market Watch, where we discuss everything that's happening in the secondary market. But until then, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon and have a great day.